Welcome back to Project Zomboid. Don't worry, Shonda's okay. I'm not playing another character because something happened to Shonda. But during my last Shonda episode, I got some advice from a viewer named Rainfall that I had no idea this was even a thing. That I could pick up VHS tapes and use them to train my skills. And so I had a problem in this save. This is the one I call Motel Kentucky. This is Miriam Ghazi. And she had a problem, which was, I brought her in because she was an electrician, and I needed to hook up generators at this motel. Originally, this room here was actually my kitchen. I'd been using this Franklin stove to cook with, and I was storing food all over the room. You can see I still got my water containers in here. But I brought her in because she was an electrician. She knew how to hook up generators. So I sort of refurbished my entire base around the fact that the kitchen is now in the motel kitchen downstairs. But she didn't have any mechanics skill. And weirdly, I have been unable to find a Volume 1 mechanics book. I'm finding all the other books. I do not have Volume 1 of mechanics. I also don't have Volume 2 of foraging, which is why my foraging, you can't see it, but my foraging also does not have a bonus on it. So I was getting very frustrated. But then in my last Shonda episode, Rainfall suggested that I train with VHS tapes. And I was like, what? That is a thing? And so I took Miriam here down to the video store, and there were 3 Car Zone VHS tapes at the video store. And so she watched all 3 of them. I still haven't watched the rest of these. She watched all 3 of them, bumped her mechanics up to level 2, and now she is so much more capable of building up the rest of the way. Now I've read books. I've read the Volume 2 book to give her an experience bonus, and now she actually has a hope of making her cars a little bit better. So I thought we would just, start this episode by showing that Miriam can do some stuff she couldn't do before, and I'm really excited about it. So we're going to head down. So originally we went down to the vicinity of, this is the video store down here. Went down to the vicinity of the video store, partly to get those VHS tapes, and then to scout cars so that she would have some cars to practice on. And so what I've been doing is, this van is in pretty terrible shape. And until now, I had very little hope of being able to fix it up that much. I only had this one other van that I was keeping nearby. And I like that van too. And I don't want to just take all of its parts off to, put on this van. And so I was like, I'm just never going to be able to repair this van. But now that I actually have mechanics level 2 and I'm an electrician, I can hotwire cars. And so one thing I'm doing is I'm on the lookout for really nice heavy-duty vehicles that I can bring back and sort of use their parts to augment this van. But I've also just been stripping cars in the field, and before I actually built up my mechanics skill, that was kind of the only thing I could do really effectively. If I didn't want to just cannibalize my own cars, or do the weird thing of uninstalling and reinstalling all the parts of the same car once a day to sort of build up my mechanics skill, that just feels boring. I want to feel like I'm making forward progress, I'm accomplishing something. One of the best ways to do it is just to clear out an area someplace so there's hardly any zombies around. Take your life in your hands and strip the cars that are there, bring back the parts, put them on the cars you have at home, and then what I usually do actually is I try to come back and then take the garbage parts from my cars and put them back on the cars that I stripped. Mostly just, partly just because it makes the world look prettier, but also because you get another crack at all that skill training again. So this is where I've been working. I cleared it out of zombies before, and so I'm hoping that it stays cleared out of zombies. I didn't have a wrench last time, and that was a problem. I also didn't have enough storage space to carry all the tires in the world, so I had to drop a bunch of tires on the ground. So first I'm going to load up these tires in the back of the van, and then I'm going to take another few parts off this car. Oh yeah, I can only carry 2 tires at once. So I'm going to drop these tires off in the back. Each tire is about 15 pounds. Or 15, whatever this unit of measurement is. Actually, somebody at one point, in the wake of one of my episodes, made the point that the encumbrance numbers and the character's weight numbers are not meant to be pounds or kilograms. They're just meant to be a number, sort of a unique value for the game. Partly just because they want to be able to fudge it a little bit, right? They want to be able to say something that is bulky weighs more than something that isn't, or they don't want to necessarily make implications about what an ideal weight is for a human character, stuff like that, which makes a lot of sense. So yeah, folks are talking about like, wait, video stores? Yeah, so Melitor says, I tried the VHS and for giggles also threw in the movie Dead Wrong, and it gave aiming and reloading XP? Really? So even the ones that don't have like episode numbers on them give you advantages like that? I didn't realize that. Okay, so I'm going to uninstall this front right door. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm looking at cars out in the field that usually have pretty spotty, parts on them. Oh, failed. Got to try again. I've got a 50-50 chance of doing this right. They've got all of these, like, these collections of parts, but only a few of them are in good shape. And so I'm just grabbing the few that are in good shape, loading them into the van, and then taking them home, and then I'll swap them out for the worst parts on the cars that I have, and then I'll bring back the parts from those cars to reinstall back on these. So I'm grabbing the front left suspension, the right rear brake. I think I should probably... I'm overloaded enough now. I should probably come back here and put these in the back. There we go. So yeah, Tandalense says, is this game set in any specific time period, or is the VHS just there for nostalgia? So I know that in with State of Decay... Oh, my character's getting hungry. I should feed her. I'm going to have a rabbit and beef jerky sandwich. I'm going to eat half of that sandwich because I think it's actually pretty big as sandwiches go. Oh, yeah, so I know that in State of Decay 2, or just in State... No, sorry, not just 2. In State of Decay in general. I'll eat the rest of this. We tried to be kind of... We set it in sort of the modern era, technically. Like, we didn't say, this is definitely... it's from some time in the past. But we avoided a lot of cutting-edge modern technology. Mostly just because we didn't want it to seem like... We wanted the vibe of the game to feel nostalgic, as a general rule. And, let's see, can I uninstall this? Chances 65%, sure. Want it to feel nostalgic, which means, seeing the very cutting edge of modern technology makes it feel less nostalgic, makes it feel it's just sort of the moment. And it also doesn't last as long because, that technology will quickly be surpassed by something else. Like, you watch any movie where the characters all have flip phones. Flip phones were what 4 years between, old, like, Nokia bricks and smartphones. And so, like, if you see something where everyone has a flip phone, you're like, oh, this is from a very specific period of time. And it makes you think about that rather than thinking about the vibe of the story. Oh, we're going to break this windshield, but it's going to be fine. And so we deliberately, like, we basically used only older technology, which, isn't that crazy. I mean, like, a lot of, it's set in kind of a depressed rural area where people might, have held on to their older stuff because there just isn't enough money floating around in these communities to necessarily always buy the latest stuff. And it's also like, people who've lived here for a long time, they're older people who they're not going to, like, replace their entire VHS collection with, like, chances of success with this are 35%. I shouldn't be doing this. Let's stop messing with this windshield. And I think the muffler would be even worse. Oh, muffler would be about the same, I guess. Maybe I'll wait until I got my skill a little higher before I keep doing that. I mean, I've already reduced that windshield enough that it's not going to be very valuable to me anyway, so might as well call that one quits, take the XP that I got from it, and just keep going. But this game, I believe, Melitor says that this game is actually set in a specific time. This is actually in 1993, which means that I believe that the DVD revolution didn't... I'm trying to remember when that hit. I think that hit, it was like the late 90s, wasn't it? So VHS tapes really were sort of the thing during this time. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to try to uninstall the trunk lid and the hood from this one. But because this is a standard car, I can't use that to repair my van. I would have to actually find I'd have to find a van or a truck or a delivery truck or something like that in order to get parts that are compatible with the van. Which is, I mean, honestly, I'm grateful they're as forgiving as letting, there be only 3 types of car. Because they could have had it be like every specific model of car. You can only get parts for that, from or for that specific model of car. And they've decided to be a little bit more tolerant here, which is very kind. Oh, I didn't get the break. Let's try again. Cogs points out that in State of Decay we do mention years. Like, I mean, the entire journal in State of Decay 1 has got years in it, and we do mention years and signs and stuff like that. So it's so it's like it is set in the modern era, but we've just sort of like avoided a lot of modern tropes in the art to try sort of preserve that sense of nostalgia. Failure. Come on. One thing that's interesting is your character never checks their encumbrance when they're doing actions like this and things end up in their inventories. So you can actually overload a character much more doing vehicle work than you can just picking things up. Like, for instance, those 3 tires. I could only pick up... Oh, I've got a lot of stuff. Will it even fit? It won't all fit. Great. I wonder if at least one of them will fit in the front seat. How heavy are these? 15 pounds. If I don't have a lot in the front seat, one of them might fit. Let's see. I've got a lot in the front seat. I like to carry a lot of stuff in my front seat. Wait, nope, I'm putting it on a dead body. That's not what I want to do. I want to put them on the ground. Okay, well, I can come back for these later on. But I forgot what I was saying a second ago, so remind me if you care. But another reason I thought of coming here, by the way. So people were talking to me about sledgehammers. So right here, there are 2 sledgehammers. Shonda desperately wants a sledgehammer. And here, Miriam has got 2 just lying in the middle of the road. And I was like, you know what? So that's actually sort of... It's kind of set my goal for what I want to do with Shonda today. Which is I want to get Shonda a sledgehammer. Somehow. And, you know, obviously, she can't come and invade Miriam's world to get a sledgehammer. But I'll find a way to get her a sledgehammer. So that's going to be our goal today. So Miriam's going to come home with her lovely car parts that she was only able to get. I mean, you saw how much I was failing with that windshield. That's what she would have done with most of those other car parts that I removed when she was starting with 0 mechanic skill. And it was going to take forever for me to get her mechanic skill up high enough that she could actually start doing useful, interesting things with the skill. So I'm really grateful to Rainfall for making that suggestion of using VHS tapes, because that absolutely was the shortcut that Miriam needed to get going, so that she can now start building up her mechanic skill by doing interesting stuff with vehicles, swapping their hoods and their brakes and their suspensions and really feeling like you're improving the quality of the vehicle instead of just like, you know, taking the tires on and off again and again for practice. Orathout says that I need Triple H with a sledgehammer in the thumbnail. I mean, I think, you know, using Midjourney, I could probably get Shonda with a sledgehammer. I don't know. Midjourney can be really sketchy sometimes. Sometimes I can get the images that I want, and they come out really well, and sometimes it's just really, really questionable. I just finished the thumbnails for the last 2 episodes, and, you know, I did one for the apartment that was full of guns, and it kind of worked okay. But if you look closely at it, the guns do not look like guns. The big piles of guns in the thumbnail do not look anything like guns. And that's true of a lot of my Midjourney thumbnails, where it's like, at a glance, you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of the thing that it is. And then you look closer, you're like, oh, everything about this is weird and uncanny and wrong. And some people are like really dismissive of AI art because of that. They're like, that person has 6 fingers. They have too many teeth, or, you know, that doesn't really look like a gun, or, you know, or whatever. It's like, so this is garbage. And I'm like, wait a minute, how do you get from, you know, there's these imperfections to it? This is garbage. A couple years ago, computers literally could not do this. And now they can. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's weird about it, but you know what? Like, I couldn't improve my art skills as much as computers have in that period of time. So I can't make any of these images by myself. So I'm still thrilled at what they're capable of doing. Oh, Malator says another trick for sledgehammers is to look for houses with planks barricaded. They're prepper ants, basically, and they usually have good stuff. Okay, so the thing I was gonna try was I was actually gonna drive back to Muldraugh with Shonda. I need to pick up gas with Shonda. But I was going to drive to Muldraugh with Shonda, and there were a couple of, in that area that she was searching around the video store, there are a couple of, like, warehouse-type places, and I thought that those might be good places to look. Now, since last episode, I have organized Shonda's entire arsenal. This took her a couple of days, so it's good because I've actually her weight has started to increase. She's no longer at 66 whatever numbers. She's now 70. And we're on the rise. But mostly that was because I had her bumming around at home, just organizing her stuff. So now we've got her entire arsenal here organized. She's got her, one of each of the types of rifle and shotgun, each with all of the mods that I could find that would attach to them, including a shotgun that has got a sling on it, so it's easier to carry. Now, weirdly, it says the encumbrance value is actually higher on this thing with the sling than on my shotgun that's on the ground behind me that doesn't have a sling. But maybe the benefits of the sling kick in when you're wearing it and aren't really listed on this. Also, this one has got this one has 7 shells loaded into it, and this one doesn't have that. So there we go. So Coalition is taking bets about whether or not Shonda's going to find a sledgehammer today. So I was debating. I think that I'm not going to bring a shotgun with me today. I'm going to, mostly just because it slows me down a lot, and I kind of want to be more agile. I do, however, have my cheapest revolver on my hip, and I've got extra bullets for that revolver. So I am inclined to try to use that revolver while I'm out here in the field. One way that I use guns a lot of the time is I will see which of these stews do I want. Let me grab the one that's the most nutritious. One thing I like to do with revolvers, or just with guns in general while I'm out in the field, is just use them when I'm trying to clear an area and I want to be confident that I've actually found all the zombies. There's not one waiting around a corner to go after me. I'll make sure I use the gun at least once during the fight, so that any nearby zombies that are just hiding behind a tree or something will hear me and come out. But I don't usually use them exclusively. I'm deciding, how long am I going to be down there? If I'm down there for a couple of nights, I might want to actually bring both of these stews with me. And stew does tend to, it does eventually go bad, but not really fast. It really won't fit in here? Wow. This is a heavy stew. How much? What's its encumbrance? 7.35. The 7-pound stew. I guess that makes sense. A big thing of water really is heavy. So stew doesn't go bad that fast. So I think I'm going to bring both stews. Partly just because I'm trying to, Shonda's trying to gain some weight. Shonda has been eating a little bit, not quite enough lately. So we're going to, let's stick our 2 stews in our passenger seat here, so we're not just carrying them around all the time. We can get back in the car to eat anytime we want to. And then we've also got some rice that we made this morning that we're going to finish off on our way out. But yeah, step 1 is to go down to, and actually let me remind myself the route because I haven't been navigating March Ridge very much. So we pass the gym, come down here, and that's where the gas station is. So this might be a little bit zombie-ful, so we're going to maybe fight those zombies first. Clear out some space at the gas station, fill the car up so we've got plenty of gas to get to Muldraw, and then we're going to head down to Muldraw and try to pick up a sledgehammer. Hopefully there will be one in the place that I've targeted. I don't really know. It's actually a place that I don't know if I've actually scavenged in this place before. Whoa. There really are a bunch of you, aren't there? Okay. Excuse me, zombies. I'm just gonna... Okay, seriously, I feel like I cleared this out fairly recently. What is the deal? Even if zombies did multiply, you'd think it would take as long as it takes humans. Must be some kind of convention. Okay, yeah, we do have... Okay, we got a bunch of them. Alright. Well, if I'm gonna... Okay. I guess I'm pushing through this group. Holy cow. Alright. Alright. That's how you want to play? There's so freaking many of you! Why? Alright. Okay, no, I don't think just fighting them all is the solution here. Hold on. Let's All right. Let's try to pull everybody. Okay. Let's get everybody to follow me down here. Really? Come on. There we go. Let's get more zombies. More zombies. Because there were some over here too. There we go. Okay, everybody follow me into the field. Come on. Come on, everybody. Yeah. Everybody come with me. Hey, some of you aren't following me. All right, that didn't work. I guess I can reload while I'm doing this. Okay, everybody, you still with me? Still with me? All right, let's just take everybody down here. We're going a nice little hike in the park, everybody. Okay, coming this way. Coming this way. All right, let's see. Let's break eye contact. And loop around. That'll at least get the biggest group that was around me. So, La Coalición is very committed to the idea that I'm going to be trying to find the echo weapons in Heartland. So, today, I was actually thinking that today I would take a break from Heartland during my State of Decay 2 stream. And that I would actually go after bounties today, just sort of take a little break. So yeah, I would love to do a Heartland, like an Echo Weapons episode. Like when you suggested that idea, I think that was a really good idea. I think I just might. Oh, I might not do it quite yet. I think I might save it for another day. Okay, so these guys are following me, but I'm hoping that it's just the guys who were in the field between where I left the crowd and where the route that I took back. So I'm hoping this will be a nice small group and I won't get the entire crew coming after me. Whew, okay. Oh, there's still a bunch of them. Okay. Okay. These guys, I'm pulling them in a different direction. Yes! Okay, so I was hoping... Look at... These guys did not react to that bullet. To that gunshot. Okay, I'm hoping there's a... I was hoping there would be a back door to this place. Is there not a freaking back door? Okay, good, there is. Hey, what's in here? Ooh, got duct tape. All right. Now, if they all followed me towards that building, they might be kind of obsessed with that building and... Oh, even more zombies. I'm playing on Builder. Just to be clear, this number of zombies is easy mode. And my character's exhausted. And I'm hungry. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I can do. I think I might need to get it back in my car and not do this today. Oh, they're all still up there? There's still a bunch down here? Okay, this would be a fairly manageable number of zombies if I wasn't exhausted. So I'm getting back in the... How do I get back in the car? Okay, good. Glad I left the engine running. Okay, let's see if I can lead these zombies elsewhere in my car. Yeah, a bunch of them just crashed through those windows. Okay. Yeah, everybody come this way, and then I'm not going to come back this way. I'll come back the other way. Wow, just getting gas. I had this whole idea that this was going to be an episode about going to Muldra. I might not be able to even make it to Muldra because I can't get gas. And the thing is, I've got some gas stored up at home. I could use that gas, but it's a long-term problem for me if my access to gas is this restricted. Like, if I can't get gas from the gas station because it's so crowded, that's a bigger problem for me than just this episode. So I think I need to go home, put my stew back in the fridge, and try this again tomorrow. I didn't even kill that many zombies. All I did was lead them around. Look at the amount of zombies I've had to kill in my driveway. It's just, they've left their marks everywhere. Okay, so let me finish. I'll eat the rest of this beef and mushroom rice to keep my weight going up. And then I'm going to grab those two stews. So I made these especially so that I could just easily bring some food on this mission. But at this rate, like if I'm not refrigerating them well, they're just going to go bad. And I'm not really going to get the chance to use them. So back in the fridge they go. Oh, Catty, I am really sorry about the poor quality of our Spanish translations in State of Decay 2. La Coalición calls out a lot of the worst, most egregious problems to me sometimes, and I'll try to get them fixed. But I've heard that there are serious complaints about that, and I unfortunately, as an individual, like I'm not in a position to fix it myself. I don't speak Spanish. But I do feel when people have struggled to get into the game because of the translation, I feel really bad about that. And I try to raise specific problems wherever I can, and that's about the most that I can personally do. But I'm really sorry for that for that experience that you're having. Okay, so I'm going to stand here by the bed and catch up with a bunch of chat that I missed. So Malatour was talking about the spawn settings. He said that the main one is initial spawn, which varies based on difficulty rating. 72 hours is the builder respawn. I'm not sure what it is for the other difficulties. So I am playing on builder. And so I know that there's ways, like if you did like custom difficulty in this game, I know that there are ways that you can, like you could even set it up so the zombies never respawn. You have a certain amount of zombies at the outset, and then it's just those zombies forever. And if you clear them out and they're gone, which is kind of neat. That's a neat way to imagine. Oh my gosh, 110, really? Okay, I knew she would wake up early. I didn't think she'd wake up that early. Okay, I'm thirsty. Let's grab some water. But yeah, so I'm not playing on Survivor. I know that in Survivor, there's definitely a lot of... I just need to keep filling my water bottle. I know there's a ton of there's a ton of zombie respawning on Survivor. So you're just always surrounded in some way or another by zombies. I could take some sleeping tablets. They take a minute to kick in, though. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I hate when I wake up at this time, because it means I'm just going to get tired. Like, I don't want to go out in the middle of the night when it's dark and it's hard for me to see zombies coming up at me. Like, that's terrible. But if I just wait until the sun comes up and then go, I'm gonna wake up. Like, I'm gonna get really tired before I've accomplished anything. So I think I'm gonna take a sleeping pill. And I'm going to try to sleep until morning. Thing is, taking a sleeping pill, I might actually oversleep at this point. And I think it takes a minute for the sleeping pill to actually kick in. I'm going to start getting sleepy, and then I'll need to go to bed. I guess while I'm waiting for that, I'll keep reading the chat. Okay, so Malatour says that the level of Zeds is low on builder difficulty, and it reaches its peak after 28 days, respawns every 72 hours, and then and then must be unseen for 16 hours to respawn. Oh, you mean like, so the only places that will respawn are places that I've been absent from for 16 hours. So for instance, if I keep coming home all the time, my home won't constantly have zombies respawning at it, but other places will keep having zombies respawn. But I assume they respawn at a slow rate. Like, it's not like they jump right back up to their peak the moment I'm gone. I assume that they just like get a little higher and a little higher and a little higher until they max out. That sort of thing. Let's see here. So Airy Twitch points out that in State of Decay 2, if you have trouble reading the mission text, you don't necessarily have to do the missions. That is true. Like most of our missions are very optional. There is the occasional mission that is like really important. Like the legacy missions are important to, you know, reaching some kind of completion with the game. Okay, so yes, my sleeping pills have kicked in. Okay, 7:10, much more reasonable time to get up in the morning. So I'm gonna run down here. Let's have a quick snack. Let's just eat some chips. Just to start our stomach off on the right foot. And then we'll grab our stew again. Run back out to the car. And now, okay, there should be fewer zombies. There should be fewer zombies at the gas station than there were yesterday. Maybe it'll be a group of zombies that feels like I can actually kill them rather than having to run them away. To get there, so I don't want to go down this same route again and just lead the same ones back. So I might need to loop all the way around the theater and come back from this direction. Or maybe, can I cut through parking lots and things? Like, if I pass the library, can I cut through parking lots to get here? I'm going to try that. We'll see how that goes. If that doesn't work, I'll back out and try something else. Ed Blake wants to know if I'm going to be streaming State of Decay 2 today. Yes, I will be. I'll probably be taking a break from Heartland and streaming Vanilla State of Decay 2. So that I can get... I like to keep up with the bounties. And so I'll probably spend some time with the bounties today. That's my plan. Then I do have an official State of Decay 2 stream on Monday. And so I'll also be streaming State of Decay 2 on Monday just to prepare for that stream. Okay, so hopefully I will see the zombies that I kited up here. Yes. Okay, I see at least some zombies that maybe are the ones I kited up here. And then, okay, we've got these guys. Hi, guys. Don't mind me. Okay, so, oh, wait a minute. There's a little gap here under the medical center. Can one drive a car through this? One can. It doesn't look like I can do it very well, but theoretically, a person can drive through that. Okay. I'm getting out. Okay, we're gonna deal with these guys one horde at a time. Whoa, I had a little slowdown there that panicked me. Okay. Okay, I'm letting them get a little bit too close to me. Gotta be careful with that stuff. Alright, let's start with this corner. You always like to, get a corner where it's only one zombie or maybe two actually actually reaching for you. Again, I think I'm letting myself be too impatient. I'm letting myself think, oh, I just want to kill these guys, and I'm letting them get too close. I need to do more running away. Oh, hey, there's a HitVids in town! I didn't know there's a HitVids here in my... Oh, wait, of course I did. I put, the episode where I made a map, I put it on there. It just didn't stand out to me as important. It stood out to me as being like, oh, this is the garbage place I don't need to visit. I will absolutely be coming back to this HitVids to get more VHS tapes. Maybe they'll have some Car Zone. Maybe Shonda can start building up towards being a mechanic. Okay, looks like I've got these guys' attention. Oh, there, that was that. Switch into my backup weapon for just a moment. And then I think... Oh, did I forget? I intended to bring a backup weapon with me, but I failed. So, that's fine. I think I've also got one in the car. I've got a machete. I don't like to use machetes for non-emergencies. You know, what am I talking about? What could be a worse emergency than my only source of gas being completely overrun by zombies? That is an emergency. It is worth using a machete. So the reason I save machetes for emergencies is because they have one of the highest damage values in the game, but not one of the highest durabilities. In fact, pretty mediocre durability. And so they're incredibly good at cutting through hordes. But you can't just use one all the time, because you'll break it, and then you'll need to get another one. Okay, I've just pulled more zombies than I should have. Let's see how quickly we can smack through these guys. Now, one problem is, because I conserve machetes so much, Shonda doesn't actually have a lot of blade experience. So even though the machete itself is good, Shonda's not great with it yet. But there's only one way to get great at a machete, and that's just using a machete, so... Now, I'm not actually certain... Is it long blade? It's probably long blade that I'm using. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Between leading all those zombies away yesterday... Was that freaking it? Okay, I think that machete was also not in the best shape to start. Okay, I could use my gun, but then that would attract more zombies, and at this point, I'm kind of thinking that clearing this whole place out in a satisfying way for, like, long-term use might not need to be my goal. Maybe my goal should just be to clear it out enough that I can sneak in, get some gas, and sneak out. And we might be close to that goal already. But then I'm going to need to go home and get a new weapon. Okay. Unless there's a zombie hiding behind the pumps, which there could easily be. I think we're okay. Let's bring up the car. Gas tank's on the left side. All right. And so, yeah, the question of what... Okay, so I've got a meeting at 2 o'clock. I've only got 40 to 50 minutes to try to get that stupid sledgehammer. So we'll see how this goes. Refuel from gas pump. All right, so we're going to take a quick drive home, get ourselves a new crowbar, and then we're going to drive to Muldra. Oh, Rainfall points out that the machete might be repairable. Good point. Machetes are valuable enough. Yeah, so, in fact, I just got some duct tape. Let's try that out. So I'm going to turn off this generator. Let's go back and grab that machete. Because, yeah, I just picked up some duct tape. I might be able to repair it on the spot. I don't know if that's a thing. Let's try it. What are my repair options with machete? Repair machete. 2 duct tape, and it could repair 50%. Nice! Almost as good as new. Can I do it again? Okay, so each time you repair it, you repair less. So this could take it up. So I'll use up all of this duct tape. That takes it up to 75%. That's great. I'm going to still keep it as my sort of like backup weapon for emergencies. Oh, I've got an empty gas can in here. You know what? I'm worrying about it later. I've got a mission. I'm on a mission. I cannot delay. So we're going to go home. We're going to grab another crowbar, because crowbars are nice, long-lasting, and reliable. That's what you want to take with you when you don't know what you're coming up against. It's something that's long-lasting and reliable. But I'll have that machete as a backup plan. Holy cow. This might be a good time for me to try out Molotovs again. These zombies are just so bunched together. Okay. Okay, yeah, so Rainfall says that they think the other long blade, which I believe is the katana. I found a katana with one of my other characters. The katana might not be repairable. Like, I think, yeah, the crowbar is also not repairable. Which is like, that makes sense. I mean, a crowbar, the whole deal with a crowbar is it's this, you know, finely machined, like, extremely heavy piece of gear. Okay, guess I gotta take care of this guy. Like, you do not have the technology to make a modern crowbar. And, like, what, duct tape? You can't duct tape a crowbar together and have it still be a crowbar. Like, you know, you can say that the machete broke, like, its handle came loose or something, and you can fix that. And you can say that the blade is still in good shape. There's no part of a crowbar that you can break and have it still be a crowbar. It's just, it is what it is. So I've also organized my melee weapons so that they're easier to find. So I've got this immense pile of crowbars. I'm going to grab the crappiest one, because why not? It's still, the crappiest crowbar is still better than anything else. I've got this immense pile of crowbars that I got from that apartment complex. And, oh, I'm hungry. You know what? We're going to eat our stew on the road. So let's start driving. Let's eat a quarter of this stew. Mmm, delicious stew. All right, my character's overloaded because I've got this big, huge cook pot of stew in my lap. So let's try to slide that over into the other seat while we're driving. Yeah, so as I keep having to wade through zombies in this car, the importance of Shonda eventually learning to become a mechanic is getting higher. That importance is going up. We've got a lot. We did a bunch of scouting, found a bunch of potential cars that I could get parts from. So there's a lot to work with. If I can, like, for instance, find some good Car Zone VHSs for her to watch to jump her skills ahead. Like, that truck right there, for instance, could have some great parts for the truck I'm driving. Yeah, Anarchy Lad points out that, like, crowbars are heavy and solid, but they're also, like, simple. Like, it's not like they have moving parts or anything. That's true, but also most of the weapons in the game don't have moving parts, right? They're just, yeah. I just think that, yeah, it's like trying to, like, solder together the broken pieces of a crowbar. Just seems like it wouldn't be a crowbar. Okay, so we're going to go back to Muldra, and our destination is going to be those, like, warehousey, hardware story type the big black squares in the south end of town. I also might stop by that same manhole that had the sledgehammers in Miriam's game. I think the chances of those actually having sledgehammers at it is pretty slim. But if it's possible there, that means it's possible, right? And so, no harm in looking. I think it's basically on the way. Okay, so now that I'm actually out on the road, oh, wait a minute. Nope, I don't want to do that. There's zombies on the road. Let's get past these zombies. And then look at the map while driving, because we're very clever. So, we are out here. We're headed towards Muldra. What I want to do is go past the bar. They're up here. I think that it was over here that Miriam had those. So I'll go up here first. try to just do a drive-by and see if there are sledgehammers on the ground. If there are not sledgehammers on the ground, then I will continue to those dark buildings and see if those have sledgehammers. Yeah, Malator is pointing out the fact, it's like, once you've repaired an item enough, is it really the same item anyway? Going back to the Ship of Theseus thing, or like the hatchet example that Jason Pargin puts in John Dies at the End, where it's like, if you replace the head of a hatchet and then later replace the handle of a hatchet, is it the same hatchet? And the monster that you're fighting, if it recognizes the hatchet as the same hatchet, is it correct? By the way, if you haven't read Jason Pargin's John Dies at the End books, he originally wrote as David Wong. I'm not sure which name will be on the cover of the book, but they're very good, very clever. They're full of really neat ideas. Oh, great! I'm already tired. Okay, we might be resting at the bar tonight, and then looking for sledgehammers in the morning. But yeah, they're full of like actually big, interesting ideas. They're very much about sort of the banality of evil. It's about characters who have been exposed to hideous cosmic evil so much that they don't take it seriously anymore. And so they're funny when they're dealing with the evil because they're not taking it seriously anymore. But also it sort of, instead of casting the evil characters or the evil forces as these like really scary, malevolent things, it does make them scary. They can do terrible things to people that you care about, but it also just makes them run-of-the-mill jerks. It's like they're the kind, like, there's like a demon that possesses somebody who's basically, in his attitude and the way he talks to people, he's like an internet troll. Like he's not like, ha ha ha, grand evil laugh, let me tell you about my evil scheme. It's just, he's just cursing at them and just saying the most offensive things it can just to make them uncomfortable, like a 4chan kid. And it just, I don't know, it actually feels more compellingly like actual evil than the sort of the mustache twirling, cackling villains of other media. So yeah, that's one reason I really like Jason Pargin's stuff, is he just has a take on things like that's just really different from anything else I've read. But he'll also take like weird philosophical concepts like the Ship of Theseus and work it into stuff too. So he's a fun writer. I really like him. Huh. So, Coalition has been messing around on his DayZ server and trying things. And he wants to make sort of an adventure type experience by having there be, if I understand it right, you said that you're basically making these really valuable bunkers full of cool stuff. But to get into them, you have to get like a key of some kind that can only be gotten from really sort of dangerous, toxic areas. And that in particular, there's one where the toxic area is not just really dangerous, but it's also on the other side of the map from the bunker that it opens. So I think what you're hitting on, the question I think you're hitting on there, like he's basically just asking for my take on it. So I think the question you're hitting on there is the difference between difficulty and tedium. Okay, I think I've passed the spot that had... Yeah, I've passed the spot that had the manhole in the other game, and I don't think it's here. So I'm going to go to the saloon to rest so that I can go and try to find a sledgehammer at the hardware places in the morning. But yeah, the difference between difficulty and tedium, because it's very easy to confuse them, because basically, okay, so no one is a perfect player. Even the best speedrunner of a game is not perfect. They make mistakes, and they have to try again and again and again until they get it right. And so because you're not perfect, the longer it takes to do something, the higher the chance is that you will experience a rare failure. So you could be really, really good at a game, but if you have to keep doing something for a long time, eventually you're going to hit one of your own rare failures. Also, if something is just intrinsically very difficult, you have a higher chance of failure. And so I think it's very easy for game designers to mistake the two, because in both cases, if you make something genuinely intrinsically more difficult, or if you make something take longer and be more tedious, in both cases, you see the number of failures by players go up. And it feels like you're making it harder. But I think in the latter case, a lot of the time, the player's experience of fun goes down. It might get harder, and you might get a little bit of extra pride from the fact that, oh yeah, I think the chance of me succeeding at that was low, and so the fact that I succeeded makes me feel good. You get that payoff from completing a long, tedious experience, but the actual moment-to-moment fun of it is lower than something that sort of, you can get through more quickly, make progress in more quickly. I think I first realized this as a really important distinction when I played, what was it called? It was Dante's Inferno, which, it's Dante's Inferno was, it was, one thing I really liked about it was based on the art of one of my favorite sci-fi and fantasy artists, Wayne Douglas Barlow. He wrote a book called Barlow's Inferno, that I think is actually really hard to get now, and I don't know where my copy is, and I'm freaked out now. I need to go searching for it, because it's like a really important book to me. It was very influential on me, and I don't know where it is right now. But anyway, he, I'll drink some beer? No, I'm too full. So it was based on that. So it had, artistically, it was doing some really interesting stuff. The gameplay was very similar to God of War. It was sort of it was one of those, kind of like a dodgy, camera pulled back a little bit, very controlled camera kind of brawler. With a bunch of enemies to fight with your weapons, and then a boss comes in, or like a lieutenant comes in, and they've got like quick time event type, interactions to kill them. It was that kind of game, like God of War. But I hit a point with it where there was this room that would fill with these like golden enemies, and I was pretty good at fighting these enemies. Like I could kill several of them, no problem. But they just kept spawning and kept spawning and kept spawning into this room. And, I was an okay player. I was, I'd practiced on God of War. I was pretty good at it. And I was, I felt like I was doing okay. Let's see, can we wash up while I'm talking? Let's wash ourselves. So I wasn't bad at the game. But, I wasn't perfect at it either. And so eventually these guys would whittle me down. If there were enough of them in the room, eventually one of them would get a lucky shot in at me or whatever. And that would whittle me down, and they would just always kill me. And I realized, yeah, this is hard, but it's not hard in an interesting way. It's not hard because it's difficult to figure out what to do with these guys, or there are these attacks they do that I have to dodge, and then there's this window of vulnerability where I can do some extra damage to them if I'm paying attention, or there's like two different kinds of enemies in the room and I have to balance the different challenges of those two enemies. Like, it wasn't any of that kind of difficulty. It was just, I bet if we throw enough of these at you, eventually you'll make a mistake. And that just wasn't interesting to me, so I stopped playing at that point of the game. And so I always try to watch for that in the work that I do, which is like, am I making something hard, or am I, where the heck are her pants? Her pants are filthy, aren't they? Maybe they're not. I don't know. The jacket is definitely dirty. And so I always watch for that. Like, am I making something hard, or am I just making it long? And if I'm just making it long, maybe I should rethink what I'm doing with my life. So I have not played your thing, La Coalition, but when you describe it, that's the fear that I have. The thing that you would need to watch out for is it interesting to make that journey? Like, if that's an interesting journey for players to make, and there's a lot to it that makes it fun to just travel from one end of the map to the other, then maybe as a fun sort of long-term endurance challenge, that's really cool. But if it's just about the tedium, if it's just about like, oh, you'll probably die, something will kill you on this trip, like, that might not be interesting enough for players to really love it. That's my fear. But let's see here. So Coalition says, I made it less tedious by adding smaller mid-game rewards on each point. And on each location has better gear. The giant mountain has great military gear, and then the gas zone has all silenced weapons. Okay, so I mean, you are making it interesting because the players can sort of decide what item is sort of worth their time to go after. That's pretty cool. There's a layer of strategic choices that are going on top of the layer of just trying to survive. So that's good. So anyway, it doesn't mean that obviously there are some games where long-term survival. I mean, there are people who play marathon XCOM games or whatever. Where the whole point of it is for it to be a long endurance challenge, and people like that. I'm not saying that long endurance challenges are bad, but just that's the thing you have to think about. Am I actually making it longer in a way that makes it more fun? Am I making it harder in a way that makes it more fun? Okay, yeah, so Melitor says, a friend of mine praised the lethal zone in State of Decay 2 for not making enemies just higher hit points. Good. I'm glad that they appreciated that, because that was a conscious thing. Like, we really did decide consciously that was what we wanted to do. With lethal zone, we're not going to say, oh, all the zombies take, like, so many hits to kill now. Like, it's not just... Actually, so this is... I forgot one part of this sort of recipe that I've been talking about is don't just give the enemy more hit points. If you're balancing a simple combat encounter or a type of combat or whatever, don't give the enemies more hit points to make it harder. Have them do more damage to make it harder. Because if you just give them more hit points, then the player is just slogging through it. It's taking forever. The enemy runs out of interesting new ways to surprise the player, and then you have to keep fighting them for another whatever number of minutes. And that's not very exciting. The thing you can do, though, is make the enemy do more damage. If the enemy does more damage, then it's more important for the player. Like instead of spending 10 minutes trying not to make a mistake, you can keep the fight to 2.5 minutes, but each mistake matters more. So the player still has to try to play it without making a mistake, but they only have to play a shorter version of it without making a mistake, because each mistake is more costly. So for me, I think when I'm increasing difficulty, I think that one of the better ways to do it is to ramp up the consequences of failures, not to sort of ramp up the amount of time it takes to succeed, or the amount of sort of like repetition that it takes to succeed. For me, I'm not as excited, because as a player, I'm never going to be one of those top tier players who literally are perfect at the game and they never make a mistake. I mean, you can kind of get sort of into that zone. You'll be one in a couple million players if that's what you're capable of doing. It is almost 5 o'clock, so I'm just deciding that, whatever, close enough, I can start driving there. But for me, as a player who is not necessarily going to be one of the best in the world, to say the least, for me, it's satisfying if there's a short challenge where... might as well dismantle this. Where, if I just have to get it right for a short time. Like, I don't, maybe I make, I screwed it up once, I screwed it up twice, I screwed it up 3 times. But if I have a nice run of good luck combined with, having improved my skill enough, I can get through it without having to master it like I'm trying to, like I'm a gymnast trying to compete in the Olympics. It's like, I don't want that level of effort to have to go into a video game. I want to be able to eke by, because it's a short challenge that demands something of me, but not, doesn't demand absolute perfection. Okay. So here we are. I've been doing this for what? Has it been an hour? Yes, I've been doing this for an hour. I'm finally in the place that I said I was going to go to at the beginning. Oh, hey, there's a bunch of guys over here. Hello. I did not see you originally. I don't know where you were. All right, and let's also grab these guys because, I mean, they're a little further away, but at any point, like you see them, like they're starting to wander in the wrong direction, but zombies can wander. And if they're going to wander in my direction, then I'd rather have killed them earlier. All right, and I saw a couple walking down this fence too. Oh, they got pretty far. I'm going to be going after this place too, though, so anybody who's close to either of these buildings is a target. Luckily, actually searching the building should probably not take that much time. So I think once I've killed these zombies, it won't take that much for me to determine whether this is a success or a bust. Like, I don't even really know what kinds of buildings these are. I haven't even read the signs yet. It could be that these are absurd places to find a sledgehammer, and that I just will not find one here, and I was never going to find one here. So this looks like some kind of warehouse without a sign on it. Like, some company just uses this for storage, but the public doesn't need to be aware of it. So that actually feels like a good sign. Like, it might have interesting random tools in it. What kind of knife does this guy have in him? Bread knife. That does not look like a frickin' bread knife. I keep getting excited that it looks like somebody's got a machete in him. But no, it's just the world's largest bread knife. Come on. All right, I saw, yeah, somebody out here. Okay, let's see. I'm curious about this car. Okay, it doesn't have keys in it. But it might have useful parts for my car. I'm just curious. I'm not ready to actually steal parts from it, but... it's got some decent parts. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'm just wasting time. I need to get in here and see what's in here. Oh, a bunch of boxes in the back. Okay, it looks like I can't open these doors under normal conditions. Let's just disassemble this door. Hopefully no zombies sneak up on me while I'm speeding up time. Yes, okay. Here, let's grab some water. Why am I just killing time? Let's get in there and find out if there's a... It's a freaking sledgehammer. I just want to make sure there's no zombies hiding in these places. Nothing in the mini fridge. Okay. 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 This is where we want to be. Okay, and I'm not going to take anything right now except for the sledgehammer, unless I find something really special and valuable. Plank, metal pipes, metal bars. Yeah, I could fill up my inventory so fast just picking up every useful thing in here. Okay, a bunch of paint. Paint brushes I've typically found difficult to find. So if I see a paint brush, I'm going to grab that. I can't get to the ones in the back. I wonder, can I just disassemble this crate? Oh, I need a... Wait, did I bring a saw? I can't reach some of the crates in the back. Okay, I guess I'm going to be here long enough. I can probably turn the engine off. I usually leave the engine on at first when I think I might need to beat a hasty retreat. There it is. Cog says apparently a blunt weapon like a sledgehammer can be used to bust a watermelon like your Gallagher. Okay, that's pretty funny. So Melitor says he really likes the way that these you'll find zombies with weapons lodged in them, like somebody tried to stab the zombie and just failed and got killed by the zombie. Either that, or it was a person who got stabbed by another person and then became a zombie. You can tell any story you want to about these things. All right, let's see. Was there anything else? Nope, boring stuff. Okay, let's look at the shelves. Okay, duct tape. I will always grab duct tape. I will always grab an axe. I mean, okay, I have to get a crowbar too. We might end up having to dump things in the back. Okay. Wait. Did we have... Do we have a shovel? I think we might not have a shovel. I'm going to grab a shovel, just in case we don't have a shovel. Okay, what do we got here? Metal pipe. Metal sheet. Rope. Box of nails. Always valuable and not very heavy. Rope. Rope is good for if you're chopping down a bunch of trees. A seed bag. Does it have seeds in it? No. But if I eventually find some seeds, that's another thing, that if I find any seeds, I would love to get them, because Shonda is extremely light on seeds. Okay, it looks like there's a lot of paint here. Cabbage! I have never found cabbage before. Oh, that's all. And this seed bag has got seeds in it. And a trowel. Obvious. Okay. Okay. We might not find a sledgehammer, but we have found some critically valuable stuff. Because one thing that, like, one of the reasons why Shonda was low on food, why we had to go after that massive apartment complex, was because, yeah, a lot of the stuff is valuable. I'll come back for it later. Okay, hand side for the novelty. Was because she has not been able to farm. She has like 12 potato seeds. That's like all the seeds that she's got. And that's it. Okay, let's dump all of the stuff that's big and heavy in our bag into the back of this truck. Or just, I mean, I guess we can just put practically everything back there. Wonk. Yeah, so we've got 2 cabbage seed packets, plus whatever happens to be in one of these seed bags. One of these has got, is that carrots? Okay, so La Coalition is still trying to get me to make pozole. So one thing I found, so I think I might not be able to put beans in rice. I'm not sure, because I think, I'm trying to remember what was in pozole. It included beans and rice though, didn't it? Because I'm not dead certain I can put beans in rice. I think I kind of tried it earlier, and I was not successful. Okay, let's head over to the other place and see if we got a sledgehammer in there. If I could find seeds and a sledgehammer, that'd be freaking amazing. Also, I have heard that people do recommend cabbage as being it's apparently it's a very filling. Oh, hello, friend. It's a very filling food that's quick to grow. It's kind of about on par with potatoes in terms of its value, and I love the potatoes in this game. So, I actually am especially enthusiastic about the fact that we found cabbage, because I've never grown cabbage before in this game. Another crowbar. Seriously, I am in crowbar heaven right now. Okay, not finding a sledgehammer. It could be that sledgehammers are not actually a common thing to find in these places. And it could be that this was actually just not a good plan for where to go. And maybe it is just driving around and looking for manholes is actually a much better plan. Oh, wait. I think I'm mixing... I've got a propane... I'll grab another one. I've got a propane torch already. I think I don't have a welding mask, though. So I think that I can't work on my welding until I find a solution to that. Okay, there's all of these crates. Okay, more duct tape. Okay, so I have not found what I came here looking... Oh, tomatoes! Yes! Hey, this is one of those things where it's like, you go to a place looking for one thing, and you don't find it, but you find something better. And honestly, like, as much as I would love to get that sledgehammer so that she can make a rain collector that feeds into her sink, which is the whole reason I was doing that. Which one is the one right in front of her? This, oh, it's empty. Cool. Let's disassemble that crate. Let's see if we can get a little deeper in the pile. It would be nice to get her rain collector feeding directly into her sink, which is why I wanted to get a sledgehammer, so I could bash out a wall and build that contraption. And so I'm sad that it doesn't look like I'll be able to do that immediately, but being able to start gardening, that is absolutely a thing that's valuable. Got a bunch of hard hats, but she's already got the hard hat thing taken care of. Oh, a nail! Yay! Okay, yeah, so it would take a long time to dig through, to dig through all the rest of these crates. Like, there are these stacked up crates that are just behind these ones, like this one. If I disassemble this one crate. Rainfall says that there's another warehouse just up the road in a tall fenced-in area that I might be able to check. Oh, hey, my carpentry just went up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. How high is it now? It's at 5. I'm missing the carpentry book that I need at this level, so that's actually kind of cool that it got that high, considering the limitations I'm working under. Okay. Nope. Nothing special in these. Let's move that rake. And then let's disassemble this last crate and just try to get a little deeper into the stack, see if I can see anything more. And if I can't, I can't. And again, I can come back later for all the rest of this metal stuff. Especially if I can level up my metal working to the point where I actually need a bunch of metal ingredients to do a bunch of projects that I'd like to do, then I'll totally come back here for that stuff. I'm trying to remember, do I have any food on me right now? I think I don't. So let's load this stuff into the back. We've got 15 minutes before I need to be gone. Again, yeah, if I see a welding mask, I probably did see one, and because I was thinking sledgehammer, I probably just missed it. Oh, Malator is saying, yes, save up your cigarettes and your evaporated milk so you can use them to nurture your plants as they get sick. Oh, crap. Yeah, that is actually one reason why I don't use evaporated milk. Like, I think I could be making bowls of cereal or creamy stew, or there's all kinds of stuff that I could be making using evaporated milk. But I'm not, because I'm vaguely aware that there's some kind of farming recipe that's used to sort of cure ailments on your plants that involves putting milk on them. Okay, so is it this spot that you're talking about? So really it depends on how many zombies are around it. Oh, because also, one thing, I'm really tired. And so I might not... Let's at least investigate. I might not have it in me right now to go and actually clear out a place like that if it's full. Oh, Rainfall says actually no, they didn't mean that spot. They meant up at the bend in the road. I mean up here, maybe. Is this what you're talking about? Up this way? I am curious what this is. So let's drive a little bit. Let's identify some of these places. And maybe what I'll succeed in doing is identifying places for later missions. Like maybe I'll head back. Okay, yeah, I'm not fighting those zombies right now. So this looks like it's probably maybe a storage place. But yeah, maybe I'll head back home. Get my garden set up, and then later come back again in search of sledgehammers. Okay, so it sounds like you were probably talking about up here. So this is definitely surrounded by more zombies than I want to fight right now. And there's another spot up here, too. Like, back there. That might be good. And they're right close. Is this the rich neighborhood? I think this might be the rich neighborhood where... No, wait. Where am I? Where am I on the map? Oh, no, this is the rich neighborhood down here. Why did I put a frowny face on this house? What happened at this house a long time ago in this save that I've completely forgotten about? Anyway, since I've got the gas and just a little bit of time, I think I'll just drive around a little bit just in case. Just in case there's a sledgehammer just lying around on the ground. I think I'll take a little loop around Muldraugh, head out, eventually end up back on the main drag again, and then head back home. Coalition is suggesting that probably a death happened there. Yeah, I agree. That is probably what happened there. I'm trying to remember. Is Shonda's game... Is this the game... Is this the save I originally... Like, my first builder save? Basically, because I know the first couple times I streamed this game, I was playing on survival difficulty. And I just... Survivor difficulty. And I would die after half an hour. Like, I would do these half-hour episodes that just always ended in my death. Every single time. And that was silly. And so I stepped back to builder. Is this still that same save? Or did I switch it up at some point? I'm pretty sure this is still that same save. All right, I got 10 minutes left. I don't have to make it all the way back home. But yeah, I'm tired enough that I'm not willing to stop in a place that oh gosh. Oh gosh. Nope, 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 nope. Get off the tree. Okay. I'm not willing to stop in a place that requires me to clear an entire building because my character's tired. But if I do see one of those little manhole, you know, like environmental storytelling moments lying around, I could easily lead the zombies away from it, run out, grab the sledgehammer real fast, hop back in the car, and go. So if I see one of those in the next few minutes, I'll grab it. But otherwise, I think that our ability to find a sledgehammer has been put to the test, and maybe we have been found wanting. You know, I'm going to head up in the direction of, like, the northern warehouse. Just in case that one is zombie-free. I am really tired, though. So, like, the standard, like, I would have to be really interested in stopping somewhere to stop with, you know, I think I've got the level 2 tired Moodle now. Even just a level 1 tired Moodle, like, I can immediately tell how much worse I am in combat. So I do not want to get into combat with a Moodle this red. So I think, was this the neighborhood where I originally had the lake house? No, this is still somewhere else. I think I'm getting closer, though. Oh, what's this? This is, okay, no, this is a wreck. Okay, it's not... Oh, wait, what's it? Oh, okay, we've got a jack. I've already got a jack, but jacks are kind of special. Wouldn't be bad to have 2. There's only one zombie defending it. See how many times I have to hit this zombie right now? Okay, I just want to grab the jack and go! Go, 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 go! Get away from the zombies! Ah! Get in the car! Go, go, go! Alright. Oh, I'm getting hungry. Time to eat some stew. Okay, yeah, we are getting closer to my destination. So, and this is, like, out there in the sticks of Muldra already. So, like... Okay, yeah, so we've got... Oh, wait. I have to... This is the auto shop. Oh, we've got another jack here. Wow, lots of jacks. I've got another game where I think I've had a really hard time finding a jack. But the place I was going to check is a hardware store up this way. Okay, yeah, it does look like there's a bunch of zombies around it. So I'm not going to be able to go there today. Unfortunately. Yep, there's zombies on every side. I mean, I guess I could run inside and close the door if the door happens to be unlocked. No guarantees about the door being unlocked, though. So this would have been where I'd stopped if I was in good shape and if I had enough time, but I just don't have enough time. So, unfortunately, I do think we have to scuttle this and head back. Rainfall says that warehouse will always be crowded. So... The reason I felt like it wouldn't be crowded was because in one of my other games I've settled at Smokey's right next door, and so that's just right. It's right within sort of the bubble of my base, and so it doesn't respawn very much. And so like I'm actually really used to that area being really, really empty in a different save. But that's because I live there. That's why it's empty. So yeah, not surprised that it was a little crowded for somebody who lives on the other end of the map. So Coalition is like giving me a bunch of clock emojis, telling me I'm running out of time. I know. Yes, so Coalition, I am planning on doing Playtest Thursday after my meetings today in the afternoon. And also Calliope and I are planning on streaming Don't Starve Together in the evening. So this is going to be a big stream day for me. So Definitely plan on seeing more of me a little bit later, but I am gonna have to go in just a few minutes. So one thing I might do is like I don't even know if I don't think I can make it all the way back to March Ridge before I have to go. So we're just gonna get out of Muldraugh, and that'll have to be it for now. I just keep thinking, oh, there's got to be a side street I can go down where I'll suddenly see a sledgehammer, but I just don't have time to make that happen now. I'm scanning the terrain, but yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, so unfortunately, our quest for a sledgehammer, it's looking like it's a failure, but our background secret objective to get a farm going has made a major milestone. So I still consider this mission to be a success. And so what I think I'm going to try to do, like, you know, once after I finish this episode, I'm going to try to get home to March Ridge, and we'll get all set up so that we can start doing some farming. And then after we've got our farm going, we'll come back and we're going to look at a few more storage places and hardware stores up here. We'll see if we can find a sledgehammer. And we'll keep taking different routes through Muldraugh to try and find, you know, if there's a sledgehammer on the ground, seeing if we can find one that way. So, all right, I think that's it. I think that situation is resolved. So yeah, so the coalition says, well, you know, that basically I can decide that this mission was a success for my character, but because he had bets going in the chat, it's still a failure for people who bet that I was going to find a sledgehammer. It would be really funny if I got home and then looked in a random closet and found that I already had a sledgehammer. That would be freaking hilarious. I might, once I do get back home to March Ridge, I might try to take an unconventional route home and see if a sledgehammer shows up there. I mean, like, part of me is like, oh, I should just go down this side street and see if there's a sledgehammer. But I know, I think I've actually already taken that road before, erroneously, and there wasn't anything on it. Zombie apocalypse worlds are weird just because, like, you know, you get these crowded urban areas that are just full of threat, but then, you know, so much land everywhere, all over the world, doesn't have humans on it. It has our roads passing through it, but there's just not humans, which means there's not zombies, you know, unless they've really wandered far afield from their point of origin. And so you still get these weird moments of, like, calm and safety, relative safety, calm and safety, you know, even in a world that has gone completely hostile to you. All right, so yeah, so Cogs is suggesting a Project Zomboid player that I could raid, and yeah, I think we've reached the point where I probably just need to slow down, pause it, and quit. So I'm not going to make it all the way home to March Ridge, but I will, on my own time, get back to March Ridge, drop off all this stuff at home, and get set up so that we can try some farming next episode. So that's going to be fun. So sorry to everyone who lost a bet based on my inability to find a sledgehammer, but congratulations to those of you who bet against me. You are very successful. Airy Twitch says, thanks for the big points. Melitor says there is a setting to distribute zombies evenly across the map instead of urban focused. It just doesn't feel very realistic. Yeah, same here. And honestly, like, I wish we had done more of that in State of Decay 2. I wish that we had made it so that zombies clustered in urban areas and were thinner on the ground in rural areas. I think that would feel better too, and it would give you a way to sort of like a refuge to escape to where you could expect to have fewer zombies. I think that would have been a good move, and we didn't do it. But Anarchy Lad said, I wished you every success, but absolutely bet against you. Really, I mean, it wasn't me you were betting against so much as the random distribution of loot in this game. And you've seen how random the distribution of loot in this game is before. Anyway, I do really have to go. So there's a subscribe button. Here's links to other videos. Next Project Zomboid video is going to go there when it's ready. And those of you who are watching me live, I will be back later on to stream State of Decay 2. So I'll see you then.